Welcome back to Force Education. This is Zach. Today I'm going to be talking about BKYI, a BioAPI International. This is an update to my last video. You'll find my previous video in the description below if you'd like to watch it after this one. Make sure to drop a like to this video to help this channel grow, subscribe and leave notifications on. I'm going to go through technical analysis, latest news that I can find about the stock, and what I think about the stock's movement in the future. At any point, if you feel I'm going through technical analysis a little and you're not understanding everything going through it, there's a playlist in the description below that explains each of these technical indicators and what they mean. Now let's jump right into it. So on a 1 week perspective, we get to see an MACD here is going in towards a negative perspective, and it doesn't look like it might have bottomed out yet. Perhaps maybe in next week we can see that kind of action where it does bottom out. On the ADX, it shows in an ADX of 63.19, which is very unstable at this level, and it does suggest that this trend that it currently is sitting at, which is perhaps could be, you would say, sideways or a negative trend, is coming in towards an end, or a reversal here is likely. Now on the million percent R, it's sitting in towards neutral, closer to the overbought situation here. Well, actually not closer to the overbought. This is closer to the overbought as it got all the way since back in August, but it's more around the neutral. Looking into momentum here, we get to see the momentum is a little bit choppy. If we're looking onto the unbalanced volume, we get to see more of a decline into the unbalanced volume all the way back to similar values as in March. So let's take a quick look into the moving averages. We get to see that the 200 SMA is above the stock price, and all three other moving averages are basically all touching, which doesn't mean much to us. On a 1 day perspective, what we get to see here is that the MACD looks like it actually might be curving up here on the histogram. So that is a positive news and a great potential for us to see that there is a positive reversal that is being almost confirmed as we speak. Now on the million percent R, the stock is as oversold as it can get. It's at 100, which is basically a 0 on the RSI. Volumes here is a little bit picking up from what it had, but still moving around average. Unbalanced volume seems to be around 144, a little bit lower than what it was, but it's basically sideways in that moment. And ADX shows in a possibility of a trend forming. Moving averages are unfortunately all bearish, and there's a bearish trading action zone right above the price. So we can get to see more of a mixed situation happening here on the trading technical analysis point of view, with the possibility of a positive trend or positive reversal. Now on the 1 hour perspective, what we get to see here is a little bit off the same kind of scenario. Now it looks like a golden star might be forming up where the 50 SMA does cross the blue line, the 200 SMA, and that would be positive. Now on the million percent R, we get to see the stock is actually currently overbought, and we get to see on the ADX that it's more trading sloppy, and on the MACD it looks like as well it's sideways. So what the 1 hour perspective tells us is just basically a very short term 1 hour kind of trades and trends. It looks like it might see a little bit of green on Monday, but it's going to be more sloppy in that sense. So I would basically give more a bit reliance onto the 1 week and 1 day perspective. Now on the moving average band, it's expected to trade between 49 cents in the bottom, 54 in the middle, and towards the top around 59, and that is a positive news for us as the stock is below that, and we do expect that it perhaps does see that kind of jumps. Now if we were to look into Fibonacci retracements to try to figure out where the supports and resistances on the Fibonacci retracement, the current Fibonacci support is at 47 cents, above it is 55 cents resistance, above that 60 cent resistance, and we're seeing right above there around the 67 cent resistance. Now, if we were to look at significant supports and resistances here, let's start with significant supports as a start. And we get to see that the significant support currently sitting at 47 cents. And then right below there, we're looking at the 46 cents. And then below that, we're looking at numbers are just getting a little bit closer, 45 cents. And below that, 42 cents. If we were to look all the way back, to this would probably be all the way to the March dip, where it just subsequently for a few days hit 35 cents back. So we're probably looking at another support at the 40 cent mark, and then at 35 cents mark. So there's only a few supports below there. In terms of resistance here, we get to see a few resistances, 48 cents or 47.5 cents. Then above that we're looking at 49 cents. Above that we're looking at 50 cents. Above that, we're looking at 51 cents. And then right above that, we're looking at 52. Now, the one that really is interesting for me, and if it does break it, you might actually see a little bit of a breakthrough, is a really rough wall at the 53 cents. If it does break there, 54, you might actually see great potential in terms of reaching higher grounds. Now, let's take a quick look into, for instance, one of the things like compliance. They have until November until for them to reach the compliances that the exchange requires to continue to stay on listed. Now, the deadline to that is in November, and they do need to reach there quite a bit. So, right on here, they have until November 16th to regain compliance. That gives them around 2 weeks, so probably early November is, if it doesn't reach above $1, then you would expect a reverse split, but that is a risk that would be ongoing for the stock from now till then. Now, other things, for instance, like insider transactions, no purchases or sales that seems to be happening here in the last couple of months. One of the latest news is the one on September 14th. The nonprofit healthcare organization with global work for simplify security and accesses to enterprise applications with BioAPI. That is a positive news in terms of showing the significance of their service and the need for them in the market. Now, there is another one as well here. This was a little bit more behind, but before doing so, we're going to go through institutional buyers, and we get to see nothing significant or no transactions that were reported in the last 2 weeks in the institutional level. One on September 3rd, it's a little bit older news. Eastern Florida State College deploys BioAPI Portal Guard for access to enterprise applications for 30,000 students across 5 campuses. And you get to see basically there is a lot of security platforms that they're providing, and that shows in strong potential for other customers. BioAPI provides update on African business opportunities, and it goes on through saying basically, I'm going to read it here, through the African continent and particularly Nigeria has been hard hit by COVID-19 epidemic. BioAPI's Africa subsidiary in Nigeria is maximizing new and existing revenue opportunities while aligning appropriate investments with expected returns. BioAPI's 2 largest opportunities are extremely funded programs which will use BioAPI software and hardware technology to secure identities across the countries. As reported on recent investors conference call, BioAPI remains prepared to provide its technology through Technology Transfer Institute and other consortium partners as the country resumes commercial activity. They said, we are moving forward as a collaborative partner, including BioAPI, and as a named party and provider of technology in our current contract to deliver security identity solutions to the Nigeria market. We are delighted to work with the innovative team of BioAPI and to pursue a growing market together. So that is the updates from Africa. It looks like it's still going on. That is positive news. I already covered this one here. And so as well, they have a bit onto their power presentation. They do have around $18 million in cash. So that is expected to last them at least for the next quarter. So that's positive. I don't expect an offering coming in anytime in the coming weeks or a couple of weeks or so. So that is positive. You do see basically other BioAPI customers, including governments, like in federal agencies such as Singapore Police Force, Dubai, United States Courts, Department of Justice, NCR, which is more for banking as well, fields they have over there, LexisNexis and Vodafone. So they do have different carriers and different companies that they're working with, including Portugal customers in institutional, in university and educational fields. As we did talk about Florida, we're talking about Jandel Community College. So there is a few bit. Now, what is the future of this company? It is important to try to think about where the bottom of the chart is. And currently, there's no current trend line that is still holding. In fact, it probably would be more of an accumulation period here. This is a good sign because the last few times it did hit there. For instance, if we consider this one here, it looks very similar to this one here, or this, or even these ones here. You did see more of a jump, at least a jump even before a drop. So you can consider this one as a similar pattern and then saw a jump before a drop. So I would say you can definitely day trade this one here or hold it for a shorter term. If we were to look into the 1 week perspective again, we get to see that it is going towards a harder negative trend. There is a possibility that it might be closing down, and on the 1 day perspective, it looks like the MACD is actually seeing a reversal, so it might be worth to play this one here, but there is a lot of risk, including reverse split. That might not come in until later, but you might hear about it. That might panic some sellers, some buyers, and causing them to turn out to sellers. And there is the contracts that are coming in, but basically it has a lot of risks, but the reward seems to be good as well for this one. So you have to manage your risk versus rewards from that. What do you think about this sticker? Make sure you mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and you have a wonderful day.